if you don't have a dream, you got to get a dream. It doesn't have to be something gigantic and absurd, but something that you strive to do, and then you keep punching that until your arms hurt, and then you just keep going and going and going until there's nothing left. And at least at the end of your life, you can say, you know, I tried. I didn't maybe succeed, but I never gave up. And there's something about the Rocky journey that's not super intentional, that's not here to manipulate people, but I guess this character, just the way, maybe it's the way I talk, maybe the way it's moving, maybe the way it was perceived, that he just moves through life in a way that's very identifiable, and he has a certain kind of dignity about him and a selflessness, you know what I mean? And that's what I think sort of translates, that he doesn't think he's better than anyone. He's not great looking, he's not muscular, he's not a great fighter. He fights great fighters, and he knows exactly, but he never quits. You know what I mean? Even though he knows he's going to lose, he'll still do it. And I think there's something that each one of us faces on our life on a daily basis. Like, is this really worth it? God, I can't do it anymore. Well, but you keep pushing forward. That's the human spirit. And if you can keep that flame going, that little pilot light lit, and that's what makes life worth living. You know, just that can it happen? Yes, it can, because I'm here 40 years later, because obviously we connect. And I want to thank you very much for relating to this kind of journey, because my journey hopefully is part of your journeys. I'm very happy with the way Rocky V had turned out, and it ate at me a long time. So to get Rocky VI going was probably the most difficult thing I've ever had to do, because the concept of a 60-year-old fighter following a film 15 years later, which did not work, wasn't exactly something that studios were clamoring to do. And so it was a minor miracle, it truly was, to get that done. Cut to the end, it turned out better than I thought, and I thought it was a fitting end. Now he's being offered everything by the studios, and he keeps coming back to Creed. And what it is that Creed, I didn't realize, is a very, very biographical story to him. He was using myself as almost a surrogate image for his father, who had been very, very, very sick, and he thought he was going to pass away. And he actually went through pretty much what Rocky went through, and luckily it turned out to be a misdiagnosis, but for 2, 3, 4 years they watched Rocky films. So something happened to this young man's mind, that the correlation between the two, Rocky, his father, getting better, somehow there's a story here. This is what I love about, you know, youthful imagination, also mature imagination, is that what can start out as a really catastrophic situation that is just permeated with misery, and in the end it's looking so bleak that he can garner all his natural resources and come together and formulate an idea that is actually uplifting and curative to him. So anyway, he comes back. I'm really boring the hell out of everybody, but he comes back and says, can I have another chance? And he's jumping around again. And he just reminds me of someone I met in 1975 who was me. And I went, hey, you know, no one believed in me. No one gave a chance. I think, you know what, there's something about this guy. He's running on a different kind of fuel, different kind of energy. And that's why he did such a magnificent job on this film. He poured his heart and his soul. I lost 4 fingers, but I'm really happy I made it to the top. So, I mean, so happiness is really hard to define, you know what I mean? But what I meant is, and I'm getting off point here a little bit, his happiness meant that he had to go through trial by fire. He had to go through hell, and he had to pursue the same route his father did. And I think Michael says the one line that is so profound, so unexpected, that it broke me up in the ring when he goes, I said, why are you doing this? He says, to show I'm not a mistake. And there it is. That was the whole reason for his journey, period, just to prove it to him. You know what I mean? That's why it was so beautiful. Horribly brutal, sadistic way. One is I was explaining. Well, first thing was I was really hungry, and we were shooting way out during the press conference, and it's this old abandoned mansion way outside of Philadelphia, and it's freezing, and that's where they're announcing the fight. So during lunch, I'm in full makeup, and what they do is, they cover your head, you have no hair, then they put on, the gray skin, and the eyebrows are gone, so you look like you're going through chemotherapy. I ordered pizza, and the guy comes and he has all these photos. He goes, knock, knock, knock. What is it? Oh yeah, I got this, this big fan outside. He's been collecting Rocky memorabilia. He just wants a photo with you. Would you sign this? I go, sure, just hold it. So I walk out, and he said, no hair. Is your son home? And the other thing was Michael B. Jordan. He was oh God, he was freaked out. He'll never look at pizza the same way. And then Michael B. Jordan, I said, in all these Rocky films, everybody's got to take a punch. I mean, we did it with Duff, there was a T, Carl Weathers hit like a ton of bricks. You have to do a slow motion shot. Boom, bang, you can't fake it. He goes, no, I can fake it, I'm good, I'm that fast. So they do it, and of course you can see, just a little thing, 300 frames, that it's missing, right? So I go, come on, be a dead man walking. Come on, I did it, everyone else did. Just go up there and take a half punch. So what people don't understand is that a professional fighter throws from the hips down. So this stuff here is for movies, okay? This thing weighs 15 pounds. This weighs 200 pounds. Boom. So Mike goes, okay, he's not going to swing hard. I said, I'm telling you, if he turns over that hip, it's over. Yeah, don't worry, I can take it. So he goes at 1, 2, 3, and Michael, for some inexplicable reason, as the punch is coming, he goes, boom, and his head went. I don't know. Did anyone ever see that video?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my God! Next day he's in a neck brace. Because people do this for a living. I go, yeah, but they don't look at the punch when they're getting hit. They try to avoid it. Kiss me. So anyway, that was kind of humorous. At first, the first 2 or 3 screenplays I wrote, I assumed were going to be poor, just because you're learning. Just like you're not going to go out and be a track star, you're going to take practice. But every failure makes you closer to success. So you write about things usually that you know. What I did last summer, some relation with your parents, your first love, something. And then I started to focus on what do I have in common? What is there a theme that all of us sort of share? In other words, the human condition, whether it be love and emotion or grief, we all have it. It's just unavoidable. In every language, we have it. So I tried to find a subject matter that people can relate to. So I wrote one called Paradise Alley. It was like 3 brothers and coming out of a certain situation, but it was a little out there. But it started, I started to focus on, again, different aspects. 3 brothers, one's a con man, one's kind of not too bright, and another one is a damaged soul. You put them together, you have dramatic conflict. So, to simplify the answer, you practice and practice and practice. You watch other films. I used to tape them. Now you can actually record them, but I used to tape them, and then I would go back and study the dialogue and listen. I had this little room and we shared with 10 people, and I listened to this thing of Easy Rider, and then I tried to maybe rewrite the dialogue, say maybe this line would be cooler or whatever, and you just start to practice, and then eventually you're going to read something in the paper. Somewhere it's going to happen. You're going to hear a snatch of conversation on a train. You're just going to feel something. You go, wow, that that's a story that I would write for free, and then you got it. And when people read it, they say, there's an authenticity here. It's not just writing some silly action movie, where you can do an action film, for example, like A First Blood, which is profound, yet still energetic, but touches on a subject that actually has some credibility and reality, like PTSD, you know what I mean? So anyway, the whole point is practice, 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 and then all of a sudden, it'll come to you, because you're looking for it.
I want to read another quote here. This one from Variety. Stallone finds such subtle, unassuming textures in the performance that both deepens the character we've grown to love over the last 40 years, as well as present him in a whole new shade.